Charles Leclerc took Max Verstappen 3 times for a brilliant and long overdue win at the Austrian Grand Prix, with Lewis Hamilton third as Ferrari's celebrating move was dented by Carlos Sainz's dramatic engine fire. Leclerc had gone 7 races without a victory in 2022, but was a dominant driver in Sunday's engrossing Grand Prix, passing Verstappen early on, and then after the first and second stops the surge ahead. He didn't survive the late reliability scale with his throttle to win by 2 seconds. "Oh my god, I was scared, I was really scared," said Leclerc on the team radio. He added on his win, "I definitely needed that one." Verstappen's title lead is still 38 points, although Leclerc is now his closest title rival after Sergio Perez was forced to retire from the race in the other Red Bull following a first lap collision with George Russell. Ferraris, they could have been even better. The Scuderia were looking set for a momentum shifting 1-2 as Carlos Sainz gained on Verstappen on fresher tyres before he suffered a costly engine failure. Sainz's car was engulfed in flames, he clammed out, and it's Ferrari's 4th mechanical failure of the season. That lifted Sir Lewis Hamilton up to 3rd place, with the Mercedes driver recovering from 8th on the grid to show competitive pace while still 40 seconds off the race winner at the checker flag after a virtual safety car. Russell finished 4th in the other Merc despite his 5-second penalty for the Perez clash. Ocon claimed 5th for Alpine, and Schumacher was a career best 6th for Haas. McLaren had both drivers in the points at the end of a low par weekend, with Lando Norris managing 7th despite one of the 3 drivers to pick up 5-second time penalties for track limits infringement. And so all in all, pretty decent recovery for McLaren. Leclerc had gone 3 months without a win and 2 without even a podium coming into Spielberg race, but he was the man on a mission on Sunday, and not even the world champion and title leader could stop him. While Verstappen held Leclerc off at the start, the Ferrari appeared quicker than the Red Bull throughout, and the Monegasque driver managed to stay in DRS range after getting past on lap 12. Verstappen stopped early and gained the lead when Ferrari pitted their lead driver 12 laps later, but Leclerc made light work of the 6-second deficit to close in and pressed his rival on lap 33. Verstappen was frustrated with his car's pace on team radio, and the Red Bull stop. Ferrari stop meant Leclerc passed Verstappen's sequence repeated itself again later on, with Leclerc decisively getting ahead at turn 3 with 18 laps remaining. Sainz was on the strange strategy to Leclerc and had DRS on Verstappen for his extremely unlucky DNS. Sainz's engine blew and then caught fire to cost the Spaniard a podium place to follow up his British Grand Prix win. Engine, no was the cry from Sainz on the team radio, and he said later, "I'm little lost for words." Leclerc then had his own reliability gremlins to cause more panic for Ferrari and their fans as he reported the throttle issue in the closing laps. Verstappen closed the gap, but Leclerc hung on for the win that reignites his title charge. Ferrari, while claiming back-to-back victories for the first time this season, will surely still be ruined, not taking a bigger chunk out of Red Bull's title lead. But the Austrian Grand Prix, the final to a bumper weekend after qualifying the sprint, was another fine advert for F1 and new for 2022 cars, with overtaking throughout the 71 laps. The most memorable battle came in a thrilling 5-car battle for ninth, eventually won by Norris, while the most controversial both happened at turn 4. On the first lap, Perez went around the outside of Russell before he was squeezed and then by the Mercedes. He continued after a pit stop but had too much damage and too little pace and retired. Seb Vettel and Pierre Gasly also came together at that corner, with the AlphaTauri driver giving Vettel even less room than Perez had earlier. Both Gasly and Russell got 5-second penalties. Hamilton wasn't involved in many wheel-to-wheel scraps, minus the Haas again at the start, but had good pace in clear air and made his way out to 4th in the Mercedes, and mirroring an even extended Ferrari lengthy stints. That became 3rd after Sainz's fire, which Hamilton Mercedes gleefully accepted with excellent damage elimination, not for the first time this season considering Ferrari and Red Bull's pace advantage. This is a great recovery for us as a team to get 3rd and 4th, said Hamilton. It's really good points. Angela, the next F1 race will be in 2 weeks at the French Grand Prix. Before I go, let me run you through the final classification from the race. And Leclerc in first, exactly what he needed. And Ferrari actually had a really surprising amount of pace, so I thought Verstappen would dominate, but it turned out to be quite the opposite, and that's the momentum that Leclerc needed, and hopefully he can go on a bit of a run now and close his championship down. Verstappen in second, I think will be frustrated, but it probably would have been 3rd without Sainz's DNF. But it's good damage limitation for him. He still has a healthy championship lead. Hamilton in 3rd, Russell in 4th. Once again, brilliant damage limitation from Mercedes. Maximising their points once again. 3 places in a row for Hamilton. He's got his mojo back now. Mercedes, the car seems to be getting ever more competitive. In a few races' time, you never know, we could have a proper 3-way scrap at the top. Ocon in 5th, once again for Alpine. Top midfield driver, and they're level on points with McLaren now with Alonso in 10th. Good recovery for him as well. So, they'll be very close to that, and they're chasing down McLaren. Schumacher in 6th, Magnussen in 8th. More brilliant points for Haas. They're up to 7th now, and they'll be absolutely delighted with that. really making inroads now, and Schumacher's finally got his momentum. Norris in 7th and Ricciardo in 9th. For McLaren, I think, they'll be very happy with that, considering where they were on Friday. That's a very good recovery. Bottas in 11th, to obviously miss out on points right at the end will be frustrating, but from the pit lane, it's still a good recovery. Albon in 12th, the new upgraded Williams does seem a lot closer to points and competitors, so I think they'll be encouraged for that. And then you've got the Aston Martins in 13th and 17th, just an absolute disastrous day. Really, really poor from them. Zhou in 14th, just didn't seem to have the pace of Bottas today, which is unfortunate. And then you've got the Alpha Tauris with a disastrous day in 15th and 16th. Don't know what happened to Tsunoda because he was ahead of Gasly. But yeah, Gasly, how many incidents he had, not just this weekend, but in total recently, just clumsy, sloppy incidents, and he really needs to cut it out, because he hasn't been great recently, Gasly, I have to say. And then you've got DNFing, Latifi, once again with no pace. Perez, for me, I would probably say it was a racing incident, but I can understand why they gave him a 5-second time penalty, because obviously we have seen that in the past, a la Hamilton and Albon, and then Sainz just so unfortunate not to carry momentum from the British Grand Prix, but he still had decent pace there because he had second, so there's positives they can take. But once again, Ferrari losing points when they really can't afford to, which will be hugely frustrating, but at least they did have very good pace though, Ferrari. Hey guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, I thoughts, comments down below. Follow and subscribe for daily F1 news and subscribe to my channel, and that'll be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.